Bonjour, mon ami. We just returned from beautiful Paris, France. Paris is known for its amazing restaurants and exquisite food. So tonight we're making a classic French dish, Chateaubriand. We'll serve it with asparagus, potatoes au gratin, and a peppercorn cream sauce. It's going to be delicious, so stick around and we'll show you how we make it.
My name is Mark Phillips. I've been in the food and beverage business for over 30 years. Throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to be in over 10,000 kitchens around the world. During the day, I work for Natalie's, a squeezed fresh juice company from Florida. Each week, I travel to a different city and get the opportunity to call on some of the most amazing chefs in the industry. The Kitchen of Chef Mark is a channel dedicated to showing you how you too can make fine dining restaurant quality food right in your own home. We'll travel together, we'll cook together, and we'll have some fun along the way. Welcome to the Kitchen of Chef Mark. Now let's get cooking. Tonight is a taste of Paris, Chateaubriand. We're taking the prime cut of a filet mignon, seasoning it with salt and cracked black pepper, and cooking it in a cast iron skillet, and topping it with a sauce made from butter, shallots, garlic, peppercorns, brandy, lemon juice, and heavy cream. Our side dish is potatoes au gratin, made from Yukon Gold potatoes, garlic, butter, heavy whipping cream, egg yolks, salt and pepper, nutmeg, and cheddar, Gouda, and Parmesan cheese. And why are we making this dish tonight? Well, this week we were in Paris, France, a city with a charm like no other city in the world. Paris is where you'll find the Louvre, the world's largest museum. The Louvre is over 785,000 square feet and houses some of the most famous works of art like the Mona Lisa, painted by Leonardo da Vinci in 1503. One of the most recognizable structures in all of Paris is the iconic Eiffel Tower. Construction started in 1887 and was completed in 1889, exactly 100 years after the French Revolution. You'll find a cafe or a restaurant on every corner of every street in Paris. This city comes to life at night. The tiny streets are hundreds of years old, and the architecture is simply spectacular. The Abbey of Saint-Germain was built in the 6th century AD, and the most famous medieval building in all of France is the iconic Notre Dame. Construction started in 1163 AD and continued for the next 100 years. Every restaurant in Paris is simply amazing. Chefs from all over the world travel to France to learn the culinary arts. Many cooking schools base their curriculum on the standards of French cuisine. Here are a few photos of the actual dishes that we had while we were in Paris this week. Every dish is a masterpiece all of its own, and it's here in Paris that you'll see food art on display every day and every night in the small kitchens of this historic city. Which brings us to our featured dish tonight, Chateaubriand, a prime center-cut filet mignon topped with a peppercorn cream sauce and served with asparagus and creamy, cheesy potatoes au gratin. Our mise en place for tonight's dish is 2 center-cut prime filet mignon steaks, 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil, 2 tablespoons of crushed black peppercorns, 1 stick of unsalted butter, 2 small shallots chopped, 1 cube of garlic puree or 2 minced garlic cloves, 2 ounces of cognac or brandy, 2 ounces of lemon juice, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, 1 cup of beef broth, and 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. The first thing that we want to do is to season the meat before we cook it. It's best to do this step one day before, but if you don't have one day, then give it at least 1 hour prior to cooking. Apply a layer of salt to each side of the meat and press it in with your hand. Then wrap the meat back in the wrap and place it in the refrigerator overnight or 1 hour prior to cooking. The salt pulls the moisture from inside the meat, but then through a process called osmosis, the salted moisture gets pulled back into the meat. When you're ready to begin cooking, pat the fillets so that they are dry. This will help to form a nice charred crust when they're put into the pan. Season the fillets with a generous amount of cracked black pepper on all sides. Since the fillets are dry, the pepper might not stick, so press the pepper into the fillets. Add the sunflower oil to a cast iron skillet and turn the heat to medium-high. The sunflower oil has a higher smoke point than olive oil. This high heat will help sear the fillets and give them a nice crust when they hit the hot pan. Cook for 4 minutes and don't touch it. You might get the urge to mash it down or move it around, but leave it alone so that the fillet builds up a charred crust. After 4 minutes, flip the fillets over and cook them for another 4 minutes. Look at that crust! The charred crust adds to the flavor and texture when you eat it. This is a fine dining restaurant trick of the trade. After 4 minutes, flip the fillets onto one side and cook them for 2 minutes. Use a different section of the pan as you flip the fillets. This will ensure that each part of the pan has some charred bits on it, which will help the flavor when we make our sauce later. Cook each of the 4 sides for 2 minutes per side, and then place the fillets onto a plate and put them into a 225-degree oven to continue cooking and to stay hot. Right now the steaks are rare. If you like them more medium rare, then leave them in the oven for 10 more minutes. Otherwise, turn the oven off and let the steaks rest. And now it's time to make our sauce. Place 4 pieces of butter into the hot cast iron skillet. When the butter is melted, add in the chopped shallots and cook them for about 3 to 4 minutes until they're brown. Add in the garlic puree and cook it for about a minute. I'll leave a link in the description below on how to make the garlic puree. Add in a few ounces of brandy and turn the heat up to medium so that it begins to simmer. Add in the cup of beef broth, the cup of heavy cream, the tablespoon of Dijon mustard, the 2 ounces of lemon juice, and the 2 tablespoons of cracked black peppercorns. Give the sauce a nice stir and let it simmer for about 10 minutes so that the sauce can reduce and thicken. Add salt to taste, turn off the heat and add in a few pieces of butter, stir it in, and we're done. And now it's time to plate our dish. And there it is, a taste of Paris, Chateaubriand, prime cut filet mignon with peppercorn cream sauce, served with asparagus and creamy, cheesy potatoes au gratin. Look in the description below for a separate recipe on the potatoes au gratin. It was delicious. Until next time, bon appetit.